How's the weather out there?
Shit, it's like 80 degrees.
Yeah. So what? The other one broke? Oh shit.
All right, beautiful people. This is your host, Matthew from Day and Night Podcast. We got another good one for you. As you can see, I got my nice little afro going on, and we're going to talk about it today. We got a good topic for you. As always, like, subscribe, comment, share if you can. Again, we'll be on Wednesdays and on Fridays on Spotify. So today's topic is going to be something I always wanted to talk about, and I finally got around to it. So, topic is Black women hair from a man's perspective. So, and I just have to say this, preface this before we get into it. By no means this is to disrespect Black women. This is not a session to beat up Black women. It's not a session to dog Black women. Both Mark, we got daughters, we got nieces, we got sisters. And so it's all in respect. Is this an observation, that I've been having for a long period of time? And frustration is just building and building. So we're going to talk about it, and hopefully y'all learn something from it, and y'all just look at it from a different perspective. All right, Mark.
Hey, I'm just gonna say hello, everybody. Welcome. Thanks for joining. It's a beautiful Sunday. I'm looking forward to this episode. So I'm excited that you chose to talk about it. So, and further ado, let's get it going.
All right.
Let's
So
go,
now
baby.
I'm just going to get into it as far as I'm going to give my perspective as far as how I see it. And then, as always, I have some notes and stuff that I've done a little bit of research on just to give a little bit of context. So it's just not just feel as though it's just me just ranting. I actually got some supportive, I won't say evidence, but supportive statistics that support, the reason why I feel the way that I do. So, I'm down here in Georgia, the Atlanta area, and I've been around, I traveled around the world, I've been to many different states and stuff like that. So, but for whatever reason, in this area of Georgia, the Atlanta area, more Black women, from what I've seen, they tend to wear weaves and extensions more than any other place that I've seen. But it's not only that, and I'm pretty sure, Mark, you've seen this too. We got the
Mhm.
high profile celebrities that's wearing weaves, and then they're wearing the blonde weaves. So that just blows my mind. Um, so for me, like I said, I'm a natural person. I'm all about natural. I love originality. And as far as for us as a people, our hair is significant to us, not only on the spiritual level, but also on an energetic level. So it's by no fault, it's by no accident that we were created with this type of hair. It's the reason why we have this hair. We are God's chosen people. We are people of the sun. We are people of light. So we were born with this, like I said, for a reason. So when I see Black women that tend to uh, use the fake hair, whether it's the Indian hair or they dye their hair, and everything they do is like it's getting away from what they naturally have. And it boggles my mind because, like I said, for me, I love everything about Black women. I love the hair, everything about us as a people. And I just can't comprehend why so many Black women feel as though that they have to wear extensions, they got to wear weaves, they got to do all type of stuff to feel as though that they're, I'm going to say feel as though they're important, but to feel accepted. Black women is the mother of earth, mother of all civilization. So if anybody should be conforming to or mimicking, it should be the Black woman because they are the original woman. So when I see a Black woman, and like I said, this is no disrespect or anything like that, but the first thing I see when I see a woman that does that is I feel as though that one need to have kind of low self-esteem. They don't know who they are, and they're conforming to what society says beauty is and how a woman's supposed to look. For the sisters out there that just, straight iron their hair like, mom used to do with our sisters and stuff like that. That's bad, but it's not as bad as far as these women is going to get the extensions, they getting the wigs and stuff like that, and just totally looking like someone different for who they are, from who they are. And again, I just always see that as a reflection of who that person feel they are within. And I get the whole, well, we have to because, society says we got to. We won't be able to make it in corporate America if we don't conform to this standard. And Black men, they seem to kind of want that. I just feel as though that's an excuse, although I do understand it, but I still feel as though it's an excuse. And again, that goes back to my first point, as far as just not knowing who you are. Because if you truly know who you are and you know that you possess true spirituality, you possess the great powers and stuff like that, why would you feel as though that you're not good enough? I don't care if men don't feel as though it's attractive or they don't like it. But if you know who you are as a person and you feel comfortable as far as who you are as a person, that's the only thing that should matter. And I know some women, some sisters be like, well, that's what I want to do. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Again, it's like totally, in my opinion, it's like it's taking a part of who you are and you're changing it for whatever reason. Even if you're not doing it for those other reasons, why do that person feel as though they have to change their entire look to feel comfortable or to feel attractive or whatever the reasons may be? So I'm just going to read the research that I've done on it for those that don't know. So within many spiritual practices, hair is a significant symbol of culture and spiritual connection. Hair is the crown, the most elevated part of the body. For example, and I don't know if I told you this, Mark, but when I did the background check with us, as far as the ancestry.com, right, and our roots goes all the way back to Nigeria. We're supposed to be like 98% Nigerian based off of mom's side. Right. And they actually practice Yoruba, or they're Yoruba people, which is South Nigeria, I believe. Right. So they actually believe that hair is the beginning of all. Like they actually use that to communicate with gods and goddesses. So the hair is considered the most important part of the body because that's where the crown is. And that's what actually connects you to spirituality, because that's where the crown chakra is, which is your head. So when you totally change your whole look as far as with your hair, then again, you're changing who you are as a person and what your purpose is here for. So for those of you that do not know or may not know, our hair, like I said, is unique. If you look across the globe, there's nobody else that has hair like us. We're the only people on this planet that have hair like this because it's the antenna to receive positive energy and to attract more melanin, which supports the entire body. So that's the reason why we have this hair. That's why we're supposed to wear our hair like this. We should not cover it up, especially Black women. Now, brothers, they tend to still stick to it. They got the braids, they got the locks and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, not all Black women, but a good portion of Black women tend to, want to put on the weave and stuff. And you're disconnecting yourself from a spiritual source because whatever reasons why, they want to do it. So I'm just going to leave it at that, Mark, and I'm curious what your take is on it.
Well, it's going to, I don't want to say it's a touchy one, but it's the one where I'm going to say, I hope any viewers out there, ladies, y'all really need to not need to, but I would like for y'all to respond and give y'all reasoning behind it. Because I know it's white blackness, so I get that. That's the title of the subject, but the podcast. But still, I would like to have women chime in on this and give feedback. Now, for me, I'm the same way. I love natural. I love natural. I love Black women that wear their hair naturally. I always tell Keisha and Deanna when they do the natural look, I love it. When Deanna goes natural and does just her hair with the fro, I tell her all the time, that's a good look on you. You look just as beautiful or beautifuler when you have it in that look. Mm-hmm. So I believe that women should stick to the natural look. Now, that's what I'm saying. Again, I need for women to come on and give their reason, because I get a lot of reasonings from sisters that tell me why. And one told me and I feel like it's an excuse too, but I get it, where she told me, well, the problem is like these brothers be sitting here looking at all these other women with the long hair, and they tend to think that's sexy. Now, I think that's partly as we say, programming, or brainwashing, whatever you want to call it, where they want to put it out there to make it seem like these women with long hair is attractive. And I always said this, and I always told sisters, that never attracted me personally. Mm-hmm. It may look nice. I'm not saying that don't look good, but that's not, to me, that's going to be the first thing that's going to have me appealing to you, is if you have the long hair or anything like that. So I think when some Black women say, well, all you brothers be chasing these women with the long hair, and that's what y'all seem to be attracted to, I guess there's some out there, but I won't say that's all the brothers is like that. And I'm personally wouldn't do that just for that reason. So mm-hmm. I believe that, we should stick to our natural look. I mean, you look good at it, look good with it. You put it perfectly how you stated with the facts. So really, it's nothing else I'm going to say on that, because that pretty much explains it in a nutshell. So I would just say, learn your history, be proud of it. Now, I know a lot of sisters that like to change their hair, and they just like to be creative. So I get a lot of, that's their reason as well. I don't always like to have it like that. I like different looks. So, I mean, I guess for me, yeah, you should stick to the natural look. I hear what you're saying on that. But to me, I guess it won't bother me as much if they don't go too crazy now with the different colors and all that. Yeah, that to me is a little much. I mean, certain colors look good on sisters, and I'm like, yeah, it looks good. But still, why not stick to your own? But the creativity, if they keep it within reasonable, I don't get too overly crazy about it, because to me, as long as they keep it short, if they keep it short, but they change the color, like I said, red, blue. Sometimes one of my clients, she does different hair colors, but she always, keep it short. She does the long sometimes, but she just said she likes to change it up. She just likes to be creative. So I guess as a man, I could say, well, why are you doing that? But honestly, I guess that's just something that women going to connect on with each other and understand why they do it. But yeah, I mean, there's some sisters that know their history and they still do it. So I just feel like, I guess that's them being creative. But for me personally, yeah, I love the natural look. That you can't go wrong with it. And like you put it, all the benefits of it or why it's important for us, that is why. Now, I'm going to ask you this. I know you kind of said about guys, but as far as braids and the locks, that's okay. I don't mind that. I don't know how you feel about that, or do you feel, you say natural, you mean just the natural afro look, or braids and the locks, what they call them, that's decent too, or you feel like that's a little too much?
No, when I say natural, I'm speaking of our natural hair. Like,
so I don't care what style. No, right.
Yeah.
So what about extensions?
Yeah, like extensions, anything that's not naturally your hair that you grew on your head. Mm-hmm. So that's what I can't get with. Now, as far as, like I said, the locks, the cornrows, Sisters can do it up, even the short haircuts when they just cut it and shave it or whatever and have like hair on the top. I'm just saying point blank as far as our natural hair, what God gave us. And I just want to hone on this because, like I said, I don't know how many people actually know this or if they believe it. So that could be the big thing. They may know it, but they don't believe it. But like I said, we are God's people. We are the light. We are children of the sun. So it wasn't by chance that we have this hair. So I think it's more so in something you said earlier, as far as like with the programming. It's a reason why they don't want us to see beauty within ourselves, because they don't want us to truly know who we are, to embrace that, because we're very powerful people, and we can resort back to how we were in the beginning, and that they definitely don't want that. So that's why they're putting all these images, and all they do is promote, Black women with the weaves and stuff like that. And because so many people are followers, they have so many young Black women that's seeing that, and they feel as though, okay, well, that's how it's supposed to look, and that's how we supposed to look. The rest of the world looks like that. And it disheartens me because, like I said, a Black woman is the mother of all civilization. So they may feel as though the whole globe looks a certain type of way, and they're the only ones that don't. And it's just, like I said, I don't know about anywhere else, but more so here in Atlanta, it just seems like more Black women embrace that look more so than their natural hair. And just knowing the gifts and stuff that comes with that, that's why I'm like, if they just only knew what comes with it, as far as the spiritual aspect of it, the natural aspect of it. Like I said, our hair is an antenna. So the more energy we emit to us, because that's what the hair is made for. So our hair actually has more eumelanin than it does phenylalanine. So eumelanin is basically melanin, and that's what allows our hair, it makes our hair black, because melanin is dark, it's dark matter. So because our hair has more eumelanin in it, we attract more light. And the more light we attract, the more energy we attract, the more downloads we attract, the more spiritual we become, and the more powerful we become. So if you have a people that has the gift to just naturally get all that stuff, of course you're going to do everything you can to like block it and not allow them to get the spiritual power and the natural, energetic power and stuff like that. So that's what I'm more so focused on. And just like you, I've never dated a sister that wasn't natural. I think it was one that I dated, but other than that, and that's, like I said, it's no disrespect to Black women. That's just my preference. And again, when I see a Black woman that have the weave and the different colors and stuff like that, I just see, okay, that person don't know who they are. They're not embracing who they are. And if people could really realize the gift that they have, and that's what my question is, why do they feel as though they have to change? I mean, I get you want to change up and be different, but you can do that with natural hair. So that's always been my question as far as why do they do that? And then to touch on a little bit as far as like what you spoke on is, some women say, well, that's what Black men seem to like. I'm speaking for the brothers, and there's our brothers out there that's like me that gravitate to Black women that has natural hair. And I don't like separatism, so I don't want to separate Black women and say that you don't deserve to be with somebody or anything like that. Like I said, this is more about education and just bringing to their attention, you have a gift, and your gift, one of your gifts is your hair. Be proud about it. Go about in society, at work, or whatever you have to go, and just be proud that you were a chosen one. And this is one of the reasons why you was chosen. That's one of the ways to show that you was chosen. So just let it be free, let it be known, and that's what my biggest thing is with that. So that's my perspective on it.
Yeah, so that's crazy. I was thinking about what you said earlier on the opening when you said that sometimes maybe sisters say that they're not allowed to wear their hair and be free the way they want to. And it's funny because it's a young lady that works with us. She's black, she's 21, and she started when she had orientation. She had a fro like you have. Not as big as yours, but it was nice. And I told her, I said, yeah, I saw you when you was going upstairs, and man, I love it. You was just representing that fro, and I love that the natural look. And she's like, yeah, I know, but these assholes here told me I couldn't wear it and said that it's against policy because it's a safety hazard. And I was like, girl, I've seen other women wear hair all crazy. Wear your hair the way you want to. So she had to, put it in braids, of course, and then she put like a bandana on and put the hat on top of it. But that just goes to what you were saying. So my point I'm trying to make is, and I'm not using this as an excuse, but I'm using this as more what you're saying, as these corporations or people in business get offended when they see sisters with the natural look, and because they got a little power, they'll try to use that against them in keeping them from wearing their hair the natural look. And I told her, I said, you got to go against the grain. I mean, tell them and let them know, this is your natural look. Tell them it's a cultural thing or something, but you shouldn't just conform and say I can't when there's other women wearing their hair the way they want to, but they gonna pick on you. And I was pretty much saying I want to make it like it's a black thing, but basically you're the only black woman working here, and you're the first one to do it that way. They have a problem with that. So I told her, do it without getting fired. If you really feel comfortable wearing it, you should be able to wear it that way. Now, I don't know too many other companies, but if any sisters out there looking at that, I would love to hear if y'all have that pushback where y'all work at, where you go into work. Because I know it was a problem in the news. I don't know if it was here or somewhere else where it was a sister, a teacher, that wore her hair to school in a natural look. And the staff actually got on her and told her she could not conduct herself in that because it was offensive or something ridiculous. So I think that's something that we need to push back on as women. If y'all do have that issue, find a way to go against that, because that shouldn't be a reason why you can't wear your hair, because in the workplace or they deem that that's not a proper attire. I think that was what they said for that teacher. It was ridiculous, whatever the case. So I believe that should be something that sisters should go against if it is even a problem like that wherever y'all at. But with the hair, the short hair, I don't mind that. Like you were saying, I said that earlier. Now, it's two African women that work with me too, sisters. Now, they came in, but they had their hair long in braids, and they had like a color at the bottom. So it was colored, but it was braids, but it looked good on them. But they still kept it natural though. They just added the little extensions though, but it was in braids. And I was like, I love that look. And I think they told them the same thing because they don't wear it no more. They only had it for like 2 days. So I'm like, there's no way they'll change their hair in 2 days like that unless these jokers said something. So just on that, I want to speak on it as far as if any sister get that pushback. I think that's something that shouldn't stop them from wearing it. And I know that's a little bit more of a legal battle to deal with that, but hopefully that's not a reason, for some sisters to want to wear their hair natural, is because where they work at in the workplace. But I do know that they had pushback here in San Antonio for that. It happened at my own job with the one lady I was talking about, young lady. So, but I don't think they should stop being natural because of that, because she was really discouraged by it. And now she, scared to wear her hair any type of way because of what they told her. And I was like, are you gonna make this your career job? Then do what you gotta do. And I'm not saying be combative, but just do it in a way to let them know this is part of my culture. You can't deny that from me, So I think that's kind of messed up on that aspect. But I'm gonna let you say something. I'm gonna say something else about how you say is trending, because now even white women be doing that, wearing extensions and changing their hair too. But I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say next, and I'm gonna comment on that.
Yeah, so that's I do know in some cases, I don't hear so much of it now, more so than I did probably in the early 2000s, as far as, being a policy as far as women can't wear their natural hair or braids and stuff like that, because that's an EO complaint. And it could be a civil lawsuit. But I could see how that could be a deterrent as far as, why a sister wouldn't want to do it. But I'm more so speaking on like it's just everywhere, whether if it's an all black school and the band, they got the hair. And I guess because I think Kiara said that they want them to have hair because they can whip it around and stuff like that. And
Right. Yeah.
it's supposed to be attractive or whatever the case was. But I'm speaking more so and stuff like that. And like I said, a lot of the celebrities and entertainers that have the influence. Now, that's just my personal take. Um, I think LeBron and Jay-Z, I think they secretly want white women. And I think
Mhm.
they kind of forcing their wives to do that because it's like super blonde, like white woman blonde.
Mhm.
And then it's long and stuff like that. And it just irks me because they have so much influence.
Right.
And like I said, our hair identifies who we are as a people. We're
Mhm.
spiritual people. So
Right.
when you got these women that's parading around like that with that hair, that shows that they're representing that's who they are, but that's not who they are. So
Mhm.
that's the issue that I have. And I care less about if it's an employer or whatever the case is. Like at some point, we have to stand for something and say, okay, this is who we are. We accept who we are. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stand on it, regardless what the repercussions are. So I just want to touch on some of the comments that came up. So I want to say thank you for Tyann. I think that's what your name is. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. And so one of her comments is, it's not them necessarily changing. We do protect styles to help get our hair more healthy and grow. Like I wear both weave and my natural hair. Now that's interesting. That the natural weave you said will help it grow. I've never heard that one before, but that's interesting. If you could elaborate more on that, I would love to hear it. And then KJ, she says, we really need to address society and what we define as beautiful and attractive is starting to change. Okay. Love the podcast, Dad and Uncle Matt. Okay, I guess that's who was Ty.
That's Ty. That's why I was like, you know who Ty is. That's why we said that. I was like,
Oh,
that's Deanna, but
oh, she just totally.
that's
Well,
what
I
she goes
appreciate it.
off of on her page is Ty.
Okay, well, I appreciate it. Okay, so yeah, I just totally threw my thought off. Gee. Okay, so I hear what you're saying. I know you said you wear natural and your and the weave also. That's good. I guess it's changed up. You said it helps the hair grow. Like I said, that's interesting. I would love to hear more about that. Um, but being that I'm who I am, I'm not going to say I'm a revolutionary or whatever titles and stuff they have out there. I just really believe in people being who they are meant to be. We was put here for a reason, specifically for that reason. So I just have issue when people turn away from it because that's what society is saying what's look good or that's how it's supposed to be. And not that I'm trying to force anybody to change. Again, this is just coming from a man's perspective. And I feel as though my perspective is valued because I am a man of the universe. I am the universe and I'm a God. Just like Kanye West said it. That's right. I said it. I'm a God.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is just something that I wanted to touch on. Now, this is going to get into the other aspect of hair and why it's significant. Now, I just want y'all just listen to these statistics and think about this. So, Black women spend $7.5 billion on beauty care annually. And some of this spending is a result of skewed beauty standards and racist discrimination that forces Black people to try to meet an ideal that society deems more professional or appropriate. For instance, the ideal that straight hair is good hair. In recent years, researchers and the public have begun to draw links between health problems faced by Black women and the use of certain products. So a lot of these products that Black women are using, it causes, was it cancer, um, and Alzheimer's and other diseases and stuff, because that chemical again is going straight down in your crown, and they're soaking up this stuff, and it has carcinogens in it, which is cancerous. So not only one, it takes away from who you are as a person, it's affecting you health wise, and it's taking a lot of money from you. So I just want y'all to think about that. And then
So
black women, huh?
go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. I actually have to get done.
Okay, so yeah, so black women has the highest rate of breast cancer and uterine cancer. Now, I don't know if they're directly relating this to, the chemicals from that women are using, they're putting in their hairs and stuff like that. But some of the chemicals that they do use, like I said, are carcinogens, and it's causing women to possibly develop, breast cancer or uterine cancer. So just like I said, just think about that number. And I have some more statistics on here that's kind of eye opening. 7.5 billion annually.
Yeah. So I want to kind of respond to what Deanna Ty was saying, and I heard some sisters tell me that before. So I've heard that where it helps the healthful growth of their hair. But this is what I want to ask you: when you say sisters should embrace their hair naturally. Now, I know it's not as bad nowadays, but back when we was growing up, the biggest stigma was black women short hair. It was called bald headed. So they felt like that was a negativity, that we was not beautiful because our hair was short. So they called us bald. And even us, and again, that's part of the programming, we was deemed as not beautiful because the hair was not long enough. So sisters wanted to go out and try to create the better, longer hair so they feel like they're beautiful. And like I said, not nowadays. I don't know if that's still the stigma, but I know growing up, that was kind of stigma. We would tease our girlfriends, oh, your hair is short. We was ignorant. We didn't know any better. So my question is, when Deanna Ty was saying that we needed to grow, when you say growth, do you mean just for it to be healthy, or to grow to be longer? Because, and you correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, and what you're saying is partly embracing our hair, is embracing it if it doesn't grow, if it is short and it don't get long.
Exactly.
If it's short, then wear it and wear it well and be proud of it, and know that, yeah, it's not long, but I still look good.
Yes.
So I don't know if that's part of growing up and the environment, and you was teased or frowned upon because your hair was short. You felt like you looked like a boy. So a lot of sisters felt like they needed to have longer hair, and because society forced it on us to think or try to believe that long hair is beautiful, and that's the reason why sisters started to go on the route of getting long extensions so the hair look longer so they can feel more beautiful. But again, like I said, I love the short look, and you know it. You saw Deanna one time. It was Deanna, her mom, and Keisha, and I think she sent you that photo when they was in the restaurant or wherever they was at eating. They all took that photo. I thought that was one of their best photos. I love their hairdo like that, and I tell her all the time, that was one of your best looks. I mean, all her looks, she looks gorgeous with them. But I think the short look is a natural, beautiful look. For me personally, with sisters, I love the Afro look, like yours, but not as out, but a little bit smaller. But that look to me is a beautiful look. So I feel like, as a man looking at a woman, that would be attractive for me. So if it was probably pushed more to be accepted, I think sisters would be more easier to embrace that and be more proud wearing it. But like I said, Deanna, tell us if this is true or not, that they like to be more creative nowadays where they change up the different colors. Now, I don't know if you say anything more about the colors. I think you spoke on a little bit, but do you feel like that is too much, even if they kept it short? If they change it, now I know some of these women don't like crazy colors. To me, again, I think that's them trying to be creative, but I don't mind certain colors when they do real extreme, then I'm like, yeah, that's too much. But I know some sisters that do red, blue, sometimes blonde, but they keep it short. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie, I like it, looks good on them, but I tell them at the end of the day, you look good, but I prefer the natural look. If I had to pick for me, I would choose the natural look. The braids, I love it when they do the braids as well. But I was just wondering if you had any comment on that, and Ty too, and KJ, on what y'all feel about as far as keeping it short. Is that okay, or do y'all feel like y'all have to have it a little bit longer? And I get the hair growth, but why do you need it if you can embrace it and just keep it short?
Okay, so Ty, she wrote a lot. I'm gonna try to break it down. So she says that they do have natural products for our hair, but I put stuff together that our grandma used when we were younger for our hair as well. Also, for me, sometimes when I don't touch my hair and just leave a style in and out and washes it, it grows my hair. More just saying for me. If it doesn't get long, it doesn't get long, but I meant like healthy so far as scalp roots, etc. Because even when my hair grows, it's kinky. So I like that better than straight, in my opinion. Okay, I love it. I love it. So now you did answer, you responded to what Mark said as far as the length of the hair.
Mhm.
And like we aren't women. So I don't know what that means and why women is fascinated with the length of hair, because it seems like that's always the topic um, for the majority of women is that my hair is long. The healthy part I do get. This is what I'm kind of just thinking like, okay, I understand y'all are women, but we still have hair too. So why is it different for men than women? Like men don't put all the chemicals in their hair and stuff like that. Now I have to ask Matthew because he has the locks, but to my knowledge, they don't put all that stuff in there. So why is it different for women to do all that to keep it healthy and to grow, but the men don't do it? So, so I'm just curious about that. If you can answer that. Um, so I just want to get more on the statistics because I think it's very alarming. So, like I said, just to think about it, 7.5 billion is what Black women spend on hair annually. That's the highest in the entire globe, not just the United States, but the entire globe. Okay, so African American women, I don't know why they put white or Caucasian, but African American women spend the most on hair care each month, with 21% spending more than 25% of their monthly budget on hair care products or just hair care, compared to only 5% for Caucasian women. Now, I don't want to make this a comparison because then it goes back to the whole thing is who's better, and it's not about that for me. For somebody else, maybe, but I'm just looking at the aspect of 25% is of your what you take home is going towards maintaining your hair. Now, I don't know if this includes natural women, as far as taking care of their hair, or more so women that's going and getting the weave, they getting the hair, washed, bleached, or whatever the case is, and putting the chemicals and stuff in it. It doesn't specify that. It just says that, Black women spend 25% of their monthly budget on hair care products. And that's significant because one of the biggest things that a lot of people like to throw around is generational wealth. Now, just think about 25%. If you cut that in half, that's more that can go towards your family or adding to generational wealth. So that's just something food for thought. Then it says African American women have to travel the furthest to get a hair salon that really caters to their hairstyle. Now, when I was in school, they had estheticians that was there too. And I think estheticians fall under the same thing. But anyway, a lot of the schooling or the education that was being taught was geared towards Caucasian women. So a lot of Black women are using some of the chemicals that they're using on a Caucasian woman's head that's not the same as yours. And that's where the problem is coming in because they're not putting in the research, to find out how our hair is affected by certain chemicals and stuff like that. So that's what's causing problems because a lot of the chemicals that they're putting in Black women's hair, like I said, is causing cancer. So that's just something to think about. Again, food for thought. And then another statistic, Black or African American women, 10% or less monthly budget, 15% of monthly budget, 25% or more of the monthly budget is spent on hair care.
Hey, I wanted to ask you, Matt, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you have a statistic in there? I'm curious if you do, or I'm curious if we should even do a poll on that. Because I'm curious on how many Black men overall actually, how big of significance does it matter how their Black women hair is? Do they feel like it has to be a certain look, or they really doesn't even matter to them? They still gonna find them attractive, or does it? You know what I mean? I don't know if you have a statistic for that or not, but I'm curious to see how many guys in general really even worry about it. I know women are more into hair than we are, so I probably more than likely the percentage is gonna be higher. But I'm just curious to see what the percentage of men actually even worry about that to where it's an issue. You know what I mean? To wonder why sisters feel like they have to change it. Because like I said earlier, to go back on this again, that I had been told before that some men, I know you said you're not, and there's a lot of brothers that don't look at women with long hair, but I get that sometimes from sisters. Well, you brothers don't go out there and chase these blonde women with the long blonde hair, then we wouldn't have to do that. So that's why I'm saying I wonder what the poll is on that. And then just to speak on that, I have dated out my race quite significantly. And one thing that I find interesting, even at work with the young girl that works there now, when she told me she had her hair like that, and Deanna experienced it one time when we was working together, that the lady went up and started touching her hair because she was so fascinated. Mm-hmm. She's like, "Oh my God, I love your hair. It's so different." And she looked at her like, "Why is this woman touching my hair?" She said, "Why these damn women gotta always, touch our hair like they just never seen it before?" So the reason why I'm bringing that up, that goes to what you were saying, Matt, on how significant we are, that even other races may want to act like they don't like it, but they are even fascinated in Black women hair when it's the natural look. So that should tell you right there that this is a way that it's the way to be, because you got other cultures that's looking and now starting to try to trend to even look like or have their hair like sisters. So I feel like it's something we should embrace more, because other cultures are looking and seeing that is a beautiful look and it's a natural look and it's actually appealing. Because the girl I was telling you about, she was telling me how the girl, one of the Hispanic women, white ladies worked there, was all fascinated by her hair. Mm-hmm. So that tells me right there that that's a natural look that everybody really truly likes, and not just us as a culturally. Other cultures, again, may pretend they don't care for it, but they really do. That's why I was saying earlier about now you got white women, they be trying to put extensions in their hair and do the braids and all that. So we're definitely trendsetters, but I would love to see more sisters embrace it better and more than they already are, because at the end of the day, everybody knows who the original are, like you were stating in the beginning of the podcast. So I just wanted to comment on that, because I thought that was interesting when she told me that lady was fascinated by her afro. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm just curious the psychology, because I'm looking at her comments, and she said that she expressed herself through her hair. So with different styles, you do need certain products when doing certain styles. Like if you want to lay your hair down for a specific style. Okay, so like I said, I've heard that a lot. I mean, I understand that to an extent. But okay, so I want you to look at it like this. Like I said, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just again trying to open a dialogue and expand perspective a little bit. So I don't know if you're into superhero movies and stuff like that. So I'm gonna use Clark Kent because he's the only one that's not Clark Kent, but Superman. He's the only one superhero that actually visibly has a known what do you call it, weakness. So his weakness was kryptonite. So anytime he got around kryptonite, of course, he was weak and he couldn't do anything. So if you was to look at your hair being a superpower, and anytime you put in a weave, you dyed your hair, and you did something that took away from your superpower, which is your natural hair, would you still continue to do it, knowing that you basically would die and you won't be able to do what you was put on earth to do, which is to protect or whatever the case is? Because your weakness, your kryptonite, is anything other than your natural hair. Would you still do it? So that's how I look at it. And again, I'm looking at it from the spiritual aspect of it. You were chosen, or your higher self chose to come down and to live a life as an African American woman. And that comes with gifts and responsibilities. So I guess I'm looking at it as not so much what you want, the natural self, but more so what the spiritual side of you want. And that's more so what you should be catering to as far as what your natural human aspect of you want, if that makes sense. I hope I didn't go too far off the rails, but that's just how I think about it when I see it. And that's why it digs at me, because I know what it's for. I know the purpose of it. And when I see people deviate from that, then it's like they're taking for granted the gift that they have. Because we are the most hated people on this globe, because a lot of other people know who we are. They know the truth about us. So a lot of them are jealous, and we take for granted what we have because a lot of us don't know. But yet we're trying to look and be like everybody else in certain aspects, not in everything, but in certain aspects. So that's how I look at it. It's like, don't take for granted that something was given to you that other people don't have. You know, like Mark was just talking about the story as far as the lady wanting to touch your hair. That's unique because everybody else got the same long hair and stuff. There's nothing unique about it. Asians have it, Hispanics have it, Caucasians have it. What else? I think that's all of them. You know,
They're the main ones, yeah.
yeah. So we're the only ones that have that. And so I'm like, why would you not want to embrace that and be proud of it? So, like I said, this is not a beat up session. Like I said, I'm just putting food for thought. That's it. Not to say you're wrong and, you know, I don't like you, or I hate you, or nothing like that. That's not what that's about. Just different perspective. So I'm going to read this other statistics that I had. So 18% of Black women spend more than 3 hours at a hair salon. Appointments triple the average of 6% for anybody else. Almost half, or 46% of white women in the US spend less than an hour at a hair salon appointment, higher than average of 40%. So again, that's taking time away from, if you have children, it's taking away time from your children. It's taking away time from your significant other. You know, I remember I was talking to Kiana one time, and she was like, one time it took her an entire day to get her hair done. And I'm like, that's crazy. So just think about that. If you get your hair done twice a month, I know that's not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but if you add all those days up, that's time taken away from somebody that, you know, that could have been beneficial in some shape, form, or fashion. All right, Mark.
I was just going to say this. I wish Brooklyn would have came on and said something, because I don't want to speak for her or say anything on her behalf. So Brooklyn, if you listen, and please chime in, because I want to hear what you got to say. But I'm going to speak on her because she's a client of mine, old client. I'm trying to get you back, come back. Little plug there. But her hair was naturally short. And I love, one thing I always loved about her is she wasn't scared to embrace it. She always wore it. She did her different styles. It was short, but she still did different styles. I don't think I ever seen her come in with a weave or a wig or anything. She always represented her natural look. So I know it is women out there that do embrace their hair the natural way it is and make it look good. Now I'm both ways this right now, so I get what you're saying. I'm behind you 100%. But what I will say is, I know a lot of women is more creative nowadays. So the creativity, I guess I don't have too much of a problem with it as long as it stays within the confines as much as they can being natural. You know, like Deanna, like I said, I love her hairstyles that she do. I have a few lady friends that change it up, bro. Jackie, one of my other clients, she comes in with different hairstyles, but it's just her creativity. Like you were saying, that they say this is expressive. So that's her way of expressing herself. So I get it, but the thing that I do respect is she still comes back to the end of the day to her natural look. So I guess what I'm saying is, as long as you know that you got to be natural at the end of the day, if you want to splurge on something different just for shits and giggles, I get, go for it. But at the end of the day, embrace naturality, because that part that I spoke on is what made me open my eyes and realize that. And like you said, Matt, it's other cultures that are looking at us that admire us. So if they admire us and love the way we are, we need to do it more. So I'm not saying we don't, because I know there's plenty of us that do. But for the ones that don't have it that much, that would be an eye opener for me to say, damn, see, the natural is the way to go, because these other jokers are sitting around loving my look and they actually trying to look like me. So why am I trying to change up when they the ones that are trying to follow me? But we the trendsetters. So, and I'm a firm believer in that. So, and like I said, I've been dating out my race, so I know from firsthand experience that a lot of these women other races are embracing and trying to look like black women because they know that they are beautiful black women and they are trendsetters. But society ain't going to allow that, so they're going to keep the white woman image out there as the most beautiful because they don't want to give up that crown. And that's just the reality of it. So we got to keep staying to ourselves, true to ourselves, and realize that we are the natural that everybody want to be like. They want to put us down because what does they say? The saying, biggest form of flattery is imitation.
Mm-hmm.
If I said that right. But people that imitate is the biggest form of flattery. So even though they try to knock it, they still admire us and they try to on the DL try to become us. So that tells me right there that we natural, and that's the way to go. And don't be discouraged by it if you feel like it's not good. And I think this is one thing also, Matt, and I'm gonna let you close out if you want to. Is again, I'm a big firm believer on each one teach one. Mm-hmm. We are passing the torch to the next generation now. So our generation, Deanna's generation, is the ones that's going to be have to teach that and embrace and allow their kids to understand to embrace the naturality. Now I know we're in the era now where it's more about being yourself and being creative, so they can still teach that. But I believe for sisters to really be like that, we need to trickle that down and teach and show and let them see. And not saying that they're not, but I just feel like that's where it's going to start, because women our age, I think they get it, but we have to start continuing on. Because if not, it's just going to change and it's going to be the same thing if we don't keep teaching, educating. And I believe that's where it starts, and I think action speaks louder than anything. So what we do says a whole lot more than what we actually say. So if we start showing the young black women that, hey, embrace that beautiful look, natural, I think that would be even easier for the younger black women to want to follow in that step.
Okay, good words, good words. So, so I'm going to stick to what I was saying earlier. Yeah. And this is for the women out there, even the men, if you're looking. If you are the individual that's saying they want to ascend or go higher, and the only way of doing that is allowing yourself to change, and you have to separate yourself from, I'll call it 3D, which is the human aspect of it. Like, there's a choice we have to make. Yeah, there have to be balance. Yeah, you still, live as a human and experience humanity, But at the same time, you also have to be spiritual and put things in place to reach your higher self and to ascend. And like I said earlier, because we are the chosen people and what we have been given, one of the ways of ascending and becoming more spiritual is allowing yourself to use the tools that's been given to you to do so. And one of the tools, like I said, the crown is the main one. Like the only way of doing that is utilizing what was given to you, which is being in your natural state. And that's just your natural hair. Anything other than that is the 3D side of it. That's the flesh for the Christians. That's, like I said, it's 3D, that's living humanity. But the other side of it, if you're trying to be spiritual, you have to be things of the spirit, or you have to be things of energy. And the only way to emit that energy and attract more things that you want is walking into things that's provided for you to gain access to it. And that's the only one of the ways you can gain access to it. So, I get it. For you, you're still young, you're still living. But at some point, you have to, like I said, just be open to it and allow yourself to ascend. And just remember that the stuff that you have, no one else has that gift like we have. Okay. And then just something I did want to touch on, because I'm talking about the spiritual aspect of it. So for a lot of these women, like I was watching a video, it was an Indian lady. Like the lady was sitting in the chair and the guy just cut her hair. Just took it all, like he scalped her. And he tied it up and put it in the bag. And then he shipped it. So again, the spiritual side of it. Everything holds energy. So whoever that woman was, whatever she was into, you're now placing that on you. So you're taking on that energy. If you're a Christian and you believe in spirits and stuff like that, you're taking on that spirit. So that's the other side of it. So there's a lot that goes into it. In just my opinion, like I said, as a man's perspective, I don't see the point of it. It doesn't make sense to me. I understand what you're saying, but it don't make sense to me because there's more negatives than it is positives. The only positive that I see out of it is, well, it make me feel good. It's a change that I like. That's the only positive. Everything else is detrimental. It's detrimental to your health. It's detrimental to your pocket. It's detrimental to your ascension. So again, life is about balance. So there's no balance in that, then why would you stick with it? If there was balance, then I could see, but there's no balance. The only good thing I see from that is because it makes you feel good. And I know you said it helps a woman grow their hair and stuff like that. But like I said, you was given, or Black women was given this hair for a reason. So there's other ways of growing it other than that. So again, I don't want this to feel as though that we're beating up on you, or I'm beating up on anybody. It's just my perspective. I'm bringing some spiritual to you, and I brought a little bit of, 3D with the money aspect of it. That's a lot of money that's coming out of the Black community, and that's just one aspect of it. We ain't talking about the fashion and the lashes and stuff like that and makeup. That's a lot of money that's being put into dressing up the outside. And I'm not talking about you, I'm just saying in general. But dressing up the outside and the inside is just purity crap. So just food for thought, beautiful people. We hope y'all enjoyed it. As always, like, subscribe, comment. And thank you, Dee, for commenting. Thank you, AJ. And for whoever else was watching, please, send comments, whatever the case is. And tune in again Wednesday. We'll post it again and again on Spotify. Until then, beautiful people, your thoughts becomes your belief becomes your reality. Y'all be good. Peace.
All right, we out.